The stars above the moon of Selvaris burned softly in the night sky. Wind moved across the glowing grass, and the two moons cast silver light across the royal gardens. Captain Eli stood alone at the edge of the balcony, looking up. He had never seen a sky like this before. Earth was far. His ship was parked below the palace. He had come only to deliver supplies and leave, but he stayed, because of her. Behind him the doors opened. He didn't need to turn around. He already knew her steps. Princess Asera. She walked like moonlight, quiet, soft, elegant. But her eyes, those violet eyes, held something stronger than beauty. Sadness. "Captain Eli," she said, stopping beside him, "you were supposed to leave by sunset." He smiled but didn't look away from the sky. "And yet, I'm still here." She folded her arms. "You should be careful. My people don't take well to humans, or rule breakers." "I'm both," he said with a soft laugh. For a moment, they stood in silence. Then she spoke again, quieter now. "Why did you really stay?" He finally turned toward her. "Because you looked lonely." Her lips parted slightly, surprised. No one ever said that to her. She was a princess, a symbol. Untouchable. Distant. And yet, he was right. "I am not lonely," she said, trying to sound strong. Eli took a small step forward. "Then why do you stand alone, every night staring at the stars like you want to fly away?" Asera didn't answer. She looked away, but she didn't leave. That night the palace was asleep, but two figures remained awake. They sat in a quiet room, lit only by the soft glow of floating candles. Eli sat on the floor, cross-legged. Asera sat. Across from him, her crown removed, her long hair down around her shoulders. He had never seen her like this, not royal, just real. They talked about Earth, about music, about water that fell from the sky, about her world, about traditions, about duty, about cages made of gold. "You're not what I expected," she said. "Neither are you," he replied. At some point, their hands touched. She didn't pull away. "Neither." "Did he? I shouldn't be here," she whispered. "But you are," he said. "And if someone sees, they won't." Her hand trembled in his. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dark. She leaned forward, heart pounding. "I don't even know why I'm doing this," she said. "You don't need to explain." He touched her cheek. She closed her eyes, and then she kissed him. They spent the night together in silence. There were no promises, no plans, just warmth, just closeness, just one night where they both forgot who they were supposed to be. The next morning, Eli woke up alone. The sun was rising over the twin moons. The sheets beside him were still warm, but she was gone. No note, no goodbye. He stood slowly. His chest felt tight, but he didn't know why. He walked toward the balcony again. The air was cold now. He held onto the railing, and then his knees buckled. Sharp pain struck through his stomach. He gasped, grabbing his side. Another sharp twist, like something moving inside him. What the hell? He stumbled toward his portable medkit and pressed a scanner to his abdomen. Beep, beep, beep. The screen flashed red. Internal activity detected. Unidentified cell growth. Ellie stared, heart racing. He ran the scan again, more detailed this time. This time the results were worse. Status: early stage pregnancy detected. Carrier: male human. Abnormal. He dropped the scanner. No. He backed away, his legs shaking. This isn't possible. His mind raced. Only one name came to his lips. Asera. Captain Eli paced back and forth inside his ship. He kept staring at the scanner on the wall. Pregnancy confirmed. Warning. Host is non-female, non-native species. Risk level: critical. His breath was shaky. His palms were cold. His heart raced so hard it echoed in his ears. "This can't be real," he whispered. He scanned again. Same result. Again. Still the same. He sat down hard on the metal bench, hands over his face. How can a man... He remembered the night, the warmth, her touch, her voice when she whispered his name like it was something soft and sacred. Sarah. He stood up. He had to find her. Eli ran back to the palace. He showed his ID at the front gate, but the guard squinted at him. There's no record of your arrival, Eli frowned. I came 2 days ago, delivery mission. Princess Sarah requested me personally. The guard looked annoyed. No such request exists, and no one named Sarah is on this planet. Eli's mouth went dry. What? She doesn't exist, human. That's impossible. Return to your ship, you have no business here. Eli tried to push forward, but another guard stepped in front of him. Their hands went to their weapons. He stepped back slowly, his mind spinning. They erased everything. Back on his ship, he tried to access the communication logs. All gone. No messages, no voice notes, no delivery records, not even his own audio from the night before. Like it never happened. Only one thing hadn't been erased: the scanner results. He stared at the screen again. Life form detected. Hybrid genetic signature. Partial DNA. Arvan Royal Code Marker, Arvan that. Was her race. He now knew for sure. Sarah wasn't just some noble. She was part of the royal bloodline, maybe even the heir. He tried to contact the human embassy, but the line was blocked. He checked the station for help, but all the officers avoided him. People who smiled at him yesterday now turned their backs. Something had changed, something big, and then his ship alarm buzzed. A red light blinked on the screen. Incoming transmission. Unregistered source. He tapped it open. A shaky voice came through, full of static. Eli, listen. You need to run. Don't come back here. They know. His eyes widened. Sarah? They're going to hunt you. Not because of what we did, but because of what you carry. The message cut off. The screen glitched and shut down. Eli stood frozen. His heartbeat thumped louder than before. He barely had time to breathe before the sensors lit up. 2 armed ships launched from the palace hangar, heading straight toward him. His engine was still warming. He ran to the cockpit, flipped switches, and grabbed the controls. They're coming, he muttered. They're actually coming. The first warning shot flew past his ship, bright, hot, deadly. Eli launched his craft into the sky. His stomach still hurt. The strange pressure inside him made it hard to breathe. But he didn't stop. The second shot grazed the back wing. Sparks flew. Eli gritted his teeth and pushed the engines harder. The palace ships followed fast and silent. They weren't trying to kill him. They were trying to capture. Why? Because of the pregnancy? Because of the child? He didn't know. But he knew one thing. He was never meant to leave alive. He barely escaped the system by the time fuel reached red level. His ship shook from the damage. Smoke hissed from the side panel, but the stars were finally quiet again. Eli leaned back, sweat dripping from his neck. He reached for his scanner one more time, life form status. Stable estimated age, 36 hours DNA match confirmed. Royal lineage. Detected. He stared at the small screen. His hand rested slowly over his stomach. Something was alive inside him. Something impossible. Something royal. He whispered, "What did you leave me with, Sarah?" But no one answered. Only the soft hum of the ship and a growing pulse within him. Captain Eli drifted through deep space in his damaged ship. The stars outside blinked softly, but there was no peace in them now. His hands stayed close to the controls, and his eyes jumped to the scanner every few seconds. He wasn't just running, he was being hunted. By the same people who once offered him tea in shining halls. By the same royal guards who nodded when he walked past. By the same government that had erased his name and memory in less than a day, all because of what he now carried inside him. The ship's computer beeped. Alert. Signal detected. Pursuit. Lock engaged source. Arvan tracker drone. Model class military. Eli cursed under his breath. How are they still tracking me? He tapped into the ship's medical system and ran another scan. Not just of the baby, but of himself. And there it was, a small glowing mark near his spine, a biolink tag, invisible, planted, likely placed during that one night. He whispered, "They planned this, but why? Why make him pregnant with a royal child, then try to capture or kill him afterward? Unless he wasn't supposed to survive. Maybe it was never meant to grow inside a human. Maybe Asera broke a sacred rule, and now they were cleaning the mess. Or maybe the child was too powerful, too dangerous." Eli's eyes narrowed. Either way, he wasn't going to let them take it. He jumped the ship into low-range warp and entered a debris field, a long-forgotten battlefield from an old war. Thousands of shattered ships floated in space. It was the perfect place to hide. He flew into a broken freighter and cut power. Everything went dark. Only his breath filled the silence. He placed a hand over his stomach. "Are you okay in there?" He didn't expect an answer, but somehow he felt one. A small pulse, not just heartbeat. Emotion. Eli blinked. "You feel me?" The quiet didn't last. A soft knock echoed through the ship's airlock. Not a weapon blast, not an alarm, just a gentle knock. He grabbed his sidearm and moved toward the door. His hand hovered over the button. The knock came again. He pressed the comms. "Who is it?" A shaky voice replied. "Please, I'm not one of them." He opened the door just a little. A woman stood outside, older, tall. Her skin was pale blue like snow under moonlight. She wore no armor, only long robes and a necklace with a glowing crystal. "I'm not here to hurt you," she said. He didn't lower the gun. "Then why are you here?" "I'm a healer," she said. "I used to work for the royal family. I saw your scan broadcast. Someone leaked it. I came to help, before others get here." Eli hesitated, then stepped back slowly. "Talk. Fast." Inside, the healer placed a soft scanner on Eli's belly. She didn't speak at first, her eyes filled with awe. "Incredible," she whispered. "It's growing faster than anything I've seen." Eli tensed. "Is that bad?" "No. It's alive. Strong, but this is not normal." "You think?" he snapped. "I'm a man. I'm human. This should be impossible." She nodded. "It is." Then she looked at him seriously. "This child is not just royal. It's beyond royal. Asera must have activated a hidden gene inside you. Something ancient, something designed." Eli's heart pounded. "What do you mean designed?" "The Arven were testing for years, looking for a species with a rare bond to their bloodline. Every attempt failed. Until now. So this wasn't an accident." The healer looked down. "Maybe not for her, but for the rest of them, you're a threat now." The computer beeped. Again. "New signal detected. Multiple vessels. Lock-on imminent." Eli jumped up. "They found me." The healer grabbed his arm. "You must go. Take the escape pod. I'll stay behind and make them think you're still here." Eli's eyes widened. "You'll die." She smiled faintly. "I served their family all my life. I want to serve the only piece of it worth saving." He didn't want to leave her, but he had no choice. Minutes later, the escape pod launched from the belly of the broken freighter. Eli sat in the cramped pod, shaking, watching the stars fly past. His hand stayed on his belly. "I'll keep you safe," he whispered. No matter what. Behind him, the freighter exploded, and the chase began again. The escape pod drifted silently through deep space. Captain Eli sat curled near the navigation panel, breathing heavily. His stomach still ached, not from pain, but from pressure. Something inside was growing, changing. He touched his lower belly. There was life in there, and it wasn't just human. He stared out the small window, watching a blue nebula swirl slowly in the distance. It was beautiful, but his mind couldn't enjoy it, not with so many questions still burning in his head. Why him? Why a Sarah? Why that one night and no goodbye? He closed his eyes and remembered. That night had been more than just a moment. It hadn't started with passion. It had started with sadness. He remembered the way she looked at him, not like a ruler, but like someone broken, someone caged. They hadn't spoken about politics or power or war. They talked about loneliness, about choices stolen by bloodlines. And he remembered the final words she whispered before falling asleep in his arms. If I break the law tonight, then let the stars witness my freedom. Now, looking back, he realized she knew. Suddenly, the pod's warning system flashed. Signal detected. Passive data packet received. Li leaned forward. Message? The screen blinked. Encrypted. Royal seal present. He tapped to open. A soft blue light filled the pod. Sarah's face appeared, tired, worn, but still beautiful. She looked directly at the camera. Eli, if you're seeing this, it means I couldn't reach you in time. I'm sorry. His breath caught in his throat. You were never meant to carry this alone, but I had no choice. That night was not just mine. It was our people's final attempt. She looked down. Centuries ago, the royal bloodline was cursed. We were no longer able to create life. No matter what we tried, no child survived. Our future was fading. Her voice shook. They tested hundreds of species, none matched, until you. Your DNA, your human core, was a perfect balance to awaken the ancient seed within me. I was told never to try it, but I broke the rule. Eli sat frozen. That child is not a mistake. It is a miracle. And you are more than human. You were chosen by fate, not by science. Sarah's eyes were full of tears now. I ran because I knew they'd come for you. I've been hunted every day since, but I will find you, I swear it. The message ended. Eli leaned back slowly. Now he knew. He hadn't been tricked. He hadn't been used. He had been trusted. With a future no one believed was possible. But that truth came with danger. His scanner flashed again. Transmission intercepted. Target locked. Royal hybrid carrier hostile force approaching. 5 minutes, Eli cursed. No break at all. He opened the pod's emergency storage. There were no weapons, just rations and a beacon. But he had one chance. He reprogrammed the pod's beacon to send a distress call. Not just any call. A royal-coded signal. He hoped Sarah was close enough to hear it. If she wasn't, he and the child would be caught before morning. He launched the beacon. It floated out into space, blinking like a silent scream. Eli strapped himself in, heart pounding. He wasn't a soldier anymore. But he was a father now. Even if he didn't fully understand it. Even if the galaxy wanted him erased, he would fight, he would protect. He whispered to the life inside him. Hold on. Your mother might find us. But even if she doesn't, I'll get you to safety. I promise. Minutes passed, then bright flashes outside. He turned to the window. Ships, multiple, but not the hunters. These were sleek, fast, beautiful, and at the center, her ship, royal markings, her personal crest. She had found him. The pod shuddered as it was caught in a docking beam. A moment later, the door hissed open. Sarah stood there, dressed in dark armor, her eyes wide. She rushed to him. Eli tried to speak, but his voice broke. So she did instead. I told you I'd find you. She dropped to her knees and placed her hands on his belly. Tears fell from her eyes. I can feel them. Eli placed his hand over hers. We know, he whispered. But behind them, alarms were rising again. This reunion wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. The galaxy wouldn't allow this child to live. But, together, they would fight for it. Sarah stood inside the narrow escape pod, still holding Eli close. Her hands pressed gently over his stomach, feeling the faint energy pulsing beneath his skin. She had dreamed of this moment, but she never expected it to feel so heavy, so real, so dangerous. Eli whispered, You came back. I never left, she said softly. He looked into her eyes, tired but sharp. They're still coming. I know, Asera replied, already helping him to his feet. But I didn't come alone. Her ship was fast, shaped like a silver arrow, royal tech but stripped of its old markings, reborn as a rebel vessel. Inside, Asera helped Eli into a med pod, not to sedate him, but to ease the strain. The child was growing faster now. Too fast. The healer's words echoed in his mind. This is not normal. The ship hummed to life as Asera took the controls. Behind them, enemy signals flared like sparks. They're locking on, she said. Then, hit the stars, Eli replied. She did. The ship tore across space, weaving through asteroid fields and dead systems, but the enemy ships were many, and fast. This route won't hold, Asera muttered. We need to land, hide, regroup. Eli's voice came through the comm from the med pod. I know a place. An old human station. Abandoned. No one scans. That far. She turned to him. Coordinates? He sent them. Her eyes widened. That deep? It's where no one will follow. She nodded and changed course. Hours later, they dropped out of warp. Before them, a giant metal ring floated around a dead moon, rusted, silent, forgotten. The old human station. Eli guided her to dock with it. They stepped inside together, slowly. The air was cold. Lights flickered, but it was empty. Safe. For now. Inside a small control room. Asera wrapped Eli in a thermal blanket. He sat on a crate, breathing slow. His hand rested on his belly. I feel them moving, he whispered. She knelt beside him, resting her head against his shoulder. Our child. It's strange, Eli said. I didn't ask for this. I didn't plan it. But I don't feel afraid anymore. Asera looked up. You should. He smiled weakly. I was more afraid when I had nothing. Now he had everything to lose. That night, Asera didn't wear armor. She wore a soft robe, simple, gray, unmarked, no crown, no title, just a mother-to-be. She lay beside Eli in the dim warmth of the station's sleeping pod. No lights, no sound, but their breath. He turned to her. Do you regret it? She didn't answer at first. Then, softly, no, but I do regret not staying the next morning. Why didn't you? He asked. I was afraid, she said. I thought you'd hate me when the truth came. I thought you'd run. Eli laughed quietly. Well, I tried, but I was very slow. She smiled through tears. They kissed, not out of passion, but peace, and held each other like the galaxy couldn't find them. But peace never lasts long. At dawn, a soft alarm beeped. Asera sat up quickly and checked the panel. A stealth signal, faint but familiar. She looked to Eli. Someone's here. He stood slowly, body still heavy. More Arven? No, she said, surprised. This signal. It's royal, but not from the hunters. Then who? She didn't answer. She opened the gate, and a woman stepped through. Older, tall, wearing dark robes and a ring with the high-crowned seal. Asera gasped. Mother? The Queen of Arven. The Queen stepped forward slowly. Her eyes fell on Eli, then on Asera, then on Eli's stomach. So it's true, she said. Eli stepped between them. If you came to take the child? I didn't, the Queen said. I came to see the future. Asera narrowed her eyes. You banished this kind of bond. You called it unholy. I did, the Queen admitted, because I was afraid of change, of ending our line, wrongly. She reached out a hand, but not to harm, to feel. Eli allowed her. She touched his stomach gently, and for the first time in centuries, a royal child moved beneath her palm. A child not born from pure blood, but from choice, from love. The Queen whispered, "Maybe. This is how we save our people." The old station creaked as it floated above the dead moon. Dust hung in the air like tiny stars. Silence filled the halls, but inside the central chamber something new was beginning. Something ancient, something impossible. Captain Eli lay on the medical table, breathing hard. Sweat covered his face. His muscles ached. His stomach, rounder, tighter, burned like fire from within. Sarah stood beside him, gripping his hand tightly. Her eyes glowed softly, but her lips trembled. "It's too early," she whispered. "It shouldn't be happening now." The Queen, her mother, stood on the other side, calm, focused, hands glowing with soft royal light. "The child is not bound by your time. This birth is not of our world," Eli groaned, clutching his side. "It feels like something's tearing open." The Queen pressed her fingers gently to his skin. "That's because it is." The child's heartbeat pulsed through the room, not just through the scanner, through the walls, through the air, through the stars. Lights flickered, wires buzzed, the station trembled, responding to something alive. The Queen pulled her hand back and looked at her daughter. "He cannot give birth like our kind. His body is human. It's rejecting the process." Sarah's voice cracked. "Then what do we do?" The Queen's eyes narrowed. "We do what no one has ever done. We combine our gifts, his strength, your bond, my power," Eli gasped. "Please, just do it." Sarah stepped forward, placing both hands over his heart. The Queen placed hers over his stomach. A strange light bloomed between them, a glowing ring of violet, gold, and white. Warm, pure, alive. Suddenly, Eli's body began to lift. His eyes rolled back. His breath slowed. He was between worlds. Not dying, but becoming something else. A voice echoed in the room. Not from a speaker, not from a person, but from the child. "I'm ready." The light exploded, filling the station like a second sun. Every system shut down. Every machine froze. Even time itself seemed to stop. And then, a cry. Small, clear, strong. Eli blinked open his eyes. Sarah knelt beside him, tears falling silently. In her arms, wrapped in silver cloth, was a child. Small, glowing, faintly. Their child, theirs. Eli's lips trembled. "Is it?" Sarah smiled through her tears. "Yes, it's a boy." The Queen stepped back, her face pale, but her voice proud. "He is the first, a royal heir, born of choice, not command." The child's eyes opened, not blue, not violet, both swirling, alive. Suddenly, the scanner lit up again, not just with heartbeat, with energy, levels rising too fast. Eli sat up, alarmed. "What's happening?" The Queen's face turned serious. "He's not like us, he's something new. His body is absorbing energy, the station's power, the stars around us." Sarah held the child tighter. "Will he be okay?" "He's not dying," the Queen said. "He's awakening." The walls around them vibrated. The station's lights turned gold. The child didn't cry. He smiled. A soft hum filled the air. Then, a pulse. A soft wave of light spread from the child's body. Across the room. Across the station. Across the moon and beyond. In the nearby galaxy, Arven ships suddenly lost tracking signals. In the capital palace, scanners blinked to static. Across distant worlds, old machines reactivated. And everywhere, people paused, looked up, felt something new, something pure. Back inside the station, everything calmed. The child blinked slowly and nestled into Sarah's arms. Eli reached out, touching his tiny fingers. "They'll come for us now," he said softly. The Queen nodded. "Yes, and they won't come to talk." Sarah stood up, voice firm. "Then let them come, we're not running anymore." Eli looked at her, then at the Queen. "Can we protect him?" The Queen gave a faint smile. We don't need to. She pointed to the sleeping child. He will protect us all. The station floated in silence above the dead moon. Inside, the child slept. Wrapped in soft cloth, his body glowed gently. His breath was steady. His tiny fingers curled around Sarah's thumb. Captain Eli sat nearby, his back resting against the wall, eyes fixed on the child. He had been a pilot, a fighter, a drifter. Now he was something else, a father. The Queen watched from a distance. Her long robe dragged across the dusty floor. She had aged in just a day, but her heart had never felt younger. This station won't hide you for long, she said. Eli nodded. How long before they find us? Maybe a day, maybe hours. But when they come, she looked down at the child. They won't come in peace. Sarah gently rocked the baby. Let them try. Eli glanced at her. We can't raise him running, not forever. No, the Queen agreed. You need a new place, one where he can grow, learn, live free. Sarah raised an eyebrow. A planet? Not just any planet, the Queen said. I know of one. Off the star charts. Abandoned, green, alive, hidden even from royal scanners. Eli looked at her. Why are you helping us? The Queen paused, then answered honestly. Because I never helped you, Sarah. I raised a princess, not a daughter. I only saw duty. I never saw your heart. Until now. Tears filled Sarah's eyes, but she said nothing. Sometimes silence says everything. An hour later, the Queen stood at the station's exit. Her private ship hummed softly behind her. She turned to them one last time. To the galaxy, your child is a danger. A symbol that rules can break, that blood doesn't control fate. Eli stepped forward. Then let them fear him. The Queen smiled. Raise him not as royalty. Raise him as truth. She touched her grandson's forehead gently. Goodbye, my star. Then she stepped aboard her ship and disappeared into the stars. The journey to the hidden planet took 5 days. 5 days of learning the baby's needs. The strange way his eyes glowed when he felt emotions. The small static that danced across his skin when he laughed. He wasn't normal, but he wasn't dangerous. He was something new. A beginning. The planet had no name. Lush forests, blue skies, rivers that sang when wind passed through the trees. Eli landed the ship softly near a green valley. They built a home from old ship parts and native wood. Nothing royal, nothing fancy, but full of warmth. Years passed. The child, whom they named Kale, grew faster than normal children. At just 3 years old, he spoke in full sentences. By 4, he floated above the ground when he was happy. By 5, he asked, Why am I different? Sarah sat with him under a glowing tree and said, Because you were born from 2 worlds. And, why do people want to find us? Because they fear what they don't understand. Kale looked down. Am I a mistake? Eli knelt beside him. You're not a mistake. You're the reason we're still breathing. Kale looked into his eyes. Will I ever meet other children? One day, Sarah said gently, when the galaxy is ready for you. Kale nodded, then floated upward, chasing light bugs with laughter. That night, Eli sat by the fire. Sarah leaned on his shoulder. You know, he said, we were never supposed to meet. I know. One night, that's all it was supposed to be, she smiled. That one night saved the future, he chuckled. It also broke my ribs. They laughed softly together. A breeze passed. The stars blinked above them, and their son's laughter echoed across the trees. Far beyond the system, the royal court whispered, The child lives. The child grows. And someday, he may return. But now in a place without maps, under skies untouched by war, a family lived in peace, not hiding, just waiting and loving.